Erin Patterson has officially learnt her fate. The courtroom for her sentencing was packed with reporters, onlookers and the families of her victims, all waiting to hear how the mushroom killer would be punished.
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
They brought to light the truth of what happened with the death of 3 good people. We're grateful for their skills that brought this truth to light.
Prosecutors called for no chance at parole, while defence urged the court to give her a light at the end of the tunnel. But Justice Christopher Beale showed no mercy, saying Erin's crimes fell into the worst category of murder offences.
Not only did you cut short 3 lives and cause lasting damage to Ian Wilkinson's health, you inflicted untold suffering on your own children, whom you robbed of their beloved grandparents.
These were the sentences.
For the attempted murder of Ian Wilkinson, I sentence you to 25 years imprisonment. For the murder of Heather Wilkinson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Gail Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. For the murder of Don Patterson, I sentence you to life imprisonment. All sentences are to be served concurrently.
As the judge read them out, Erin showed absolutely no emotion. This will make Erin Victoria's longest serving female inmate. She'll be 82 years old by the time she's eligible for parole. So how exactly did we arrive at these punishments?
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
This is all the evidence that convicted Erin Patterson. Let's start with the meal itself. These are the leftover beef Wellingtons police pulled from Erin's bin 2 days after the lunch. Instead of making one large Wellington, Erin served individual portions, claiming she couldn't find eye fillet at Woolies. But prosecutors said it meant she could control exactly what went into each serve. All 4 guests became violently ill within 24 hours. 3 died, 1 barely survived, but Erin only had mild symptoms.
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don is still in hospital, the loss of Ian and Heather and Gail.
Mum's final text message on our family group chat as she lay in Dandenong Hospital was, "Lots of love to you all."
A chemical analysis confirmed traces of beta-amanitin, which is the lethal toxin found in death cap mushrooms. Erin told the court she scraped mushroom paste off her own serve and fed the leftovers to her kids the next day. But prosecutors said the kids never ate them. Police searched Erin's tablet device. They learnt she had a long-standing interest in fungi, including photos of wild mushrooms dating back to 2020. Then they found this, a photo of yellow-tinged mushrooms being weighed on a kitchen scale. A fungi expert said he was highly confident they were death caps. Phone data showed Erin had travelled to areas where death caps grow, including the town of Lock, where the same mushrooms had been logged on a citizen science website just weeks earlier. Prosecutors accused Erin of calculating the weight required for the administration of a fatal dose for one person. Erin denied this. So how did she get her guests to lunch? The prosecution said Erin pretended she had cancer in order to lure them there. Erin later admitted this was a lie, saying she used the cancer story because she was embarrassed to tell her family she was planning weight loss surgery. This is the diary of Gail Patterson, Erin's ex-mother-in-law. Gail marked the date for lunch at Erin's on July 29, 2023, little knowing that this would be her last meal. This is the dining table where the lunch was served. Ian Wilkinson sat at the head of the table and led the group in prayer for Erin's supposed cancer. A key part of the trial, though, was the plates. Erin said she used a mix of plates, but Ian testified that all the guests had white plates, and Erin had a separate orange small one. A recipe tin eats cookbook was also found in her kitchen. Erin said she got the recipe from this book, but added the mushrooms because she thought it tasted bland. Then came the screenshots, Erin's private texts and social media chats, which were used to argue she had a motive. In court, Erin described her relationship with Don and Gail as loving, but in online chats with friends, she vented viciously about her ex-husband Simon and his family, describing them as a lost cause. Prosecutors described the messages as bitter and angry, suggesting the divide between Patterson and her in-laws ran deeper than they ever knew. During the trial, Erin said she regretted sending them. Then there were the texts with Facebook friends. Erin talked about blitzing mushrooms into food so that her children wouldn't notice. She also sent photos of mushrooms being dehydrated. The prosecution claimed she was dehydrating the button mushrooms as practice so as not to waste the real ones. This CCTV footage was a crucial part of the investigation, the toilet stop. The day after the lunch, Erin takes her son to a nearby town for a flying lesson. she stops at a service station along the way to use the bathroom. She's seen pulling up to the station, entering the building, and walking to the bathroom. And just 9 seconds later, she comes out. Erin claims she'd fallen ill with stomach issues after the lunch. The prosecution said she would have spent longer in the toilet if she was experiencing diarrhea. In court, she said she'd had an emergency roadside bowel movement in the bushes and only entered the gas station toilet to dispose of soiled tissues. Then she went to Leongatha Hospital, complaining of stomach pain. She was assessed by emergency doctor Chris Webster, who told the trial that at the time, he feared she'd been exposed to a potentially lethal dose of death cap mushrooms. But against medical advice, Erin discharged herself just 5 minutes later. She then stopped answering her phone, prompting Dr. Webster to call 000. Here's an excerpt from that call.
This is Dr. Chris Webster calling from Leongatha Hospital, and I have a concern regarding a patient that presented here earlier but has left the building and is potentially exposed to a fatal toxin from mushroom poisoning, and I've tried several times to get hold of her on her mobile phone.
Prosecutors said Erin left the hospital not out of fear, but because she knew she wasn't poisoned and wanted time to get her story straight. And finally came one of the most damning discoveries of all, the dehydrator. At first, Erin told police she didn't own one, but it turned out she'd purchased a brand new Sunbeam model just 3 months before the lunch. Here's the receipt. Just days after the lunch, she was captured on CCTV dumping the dehydrator in the bin. Police discovered the device and tested it. It had traces of death cap mushroom residue still inside. In court, Erin claimed she'd mistakenly mixed foraged mushrooms into the store-bought ones, and then panicked, destroyed the evidence, and lied to police out of fear she'd lose custody of her kids. The jury didn't buy it.
A Supreme Court jury has found Erin Patterson guilty of murdering 3 relatives.
She had a dilemma, and the solution that she chose is sociopathic.
Ian Wilkinson spoke outside the court after the sentencing. He thanked the police who investigated the case and the general public for their support.
I want to say thank you to the many people from across Australia and around the world who, through their prayers and messages of support, have encouraged us.
Erin will spend the next 33 years in prison before she's eligible for parole. She's in the Murray unit at the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre, which is the only women's maximum security prison in Victoria. In the time she's been there, her fellow inmates have described her as manipulative, arrogant, and rude. But they also say she's extremely intelligent and that she still bitterly hates her ex-husband. Erin largely keeps to herself and is said to spend a lot of her spare time knitting. Now that she's been sentenced, she'll be made to get a proper prison job. With the sentencing handed down, that's it for Erin Patterson. After more than 2 years, her punishments mark the end of one of the world's most gripping murder cases.